Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to what is going to be an absolutely scorching day in Scotland. Now in the last video you saw that we managed to get pretty much most of the interior complete. And we are still waiting on a couple of bits. So while we're waiting on them, what we're going to do today is we're going to give the interior of the van a tidy, because it's an absolute disgrace. We're going to get that tyre fixed, because it's had a slow puncture for at least 7 months now. And it's really annoying me having to pump up all the time. And then we're going to make a start trying to remove as much of this damage as is possible on this side. And the other side of the van, well, that'll have to be another video, because there's no way am I getting all this done in a week. So as always, there's plenty of work to do. And before we get started, I would just like to say that I'm going to use the words car and van interchangeably throughout this video. So I apologise in advance for if that triggers anybody. But with that, there's tons to do. So let's get that interior cleaned first. Right, so that's the inside of the van looking a lot cleaner now, which is awesome. And you may have noticed in the last video that this car still has the plastic stuff on it from when it was literally delivered, brand new. So we're going to leave that on for just now until the van is fully fixed, and then we'll take all that off, because it's a good protective layer for the carpets at the moment. So what we need to do now is get the van back in the garage, and before we start on the outside of the car, we're going to go about replacing that broken sun visor, because I've got a replacement one, although it's second hand. So let's get this thing back in the garage and we'll crack on. Right, so as well as putting the sun visor in, I also got a few other parts delivered in that clip. The rear view mirror is now complete. Now there was somebody that asked me, how do you remove the plastic trims around the rear view mirror in the last video. So basically what you do is you start off with the top piece, unclip that, then the middle bit will unclick, and then this bit will come off. And just a quick word of warning, if you're ever buying things from a scrappies, if you're not removing the parts yourself, so you know they're not damaged, don't rely on them to do it for you. Because as you can see, these parts don't clip in. So I'm going to have to buy new ones of them, which is kind of frustrating because I've already bought a set. But other than that, the interior is looking absolutely awesome. Even got new car mats in. Now the next thing I was planning on doing was starting on all the outside repair work. But unfortunately, the tools that I need in order to do it haven't arrived yet. So what I was thinking instead was, we'll get some number plates on the car and we'll take it for its first drive, all built back up. See how squint the steering wheel is, and we may have to fix that when we get back. But with that, let's crack on, get this thing on the road. So really the only purpose for taking the car out for a drive like this and making sure it gets up to temperature is basically just to check it over, make sure there's nothing outstanding that we haven't fixed yet. And so far, it's doing pretty good. The one thing we do need to fix though is the steering wheel. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically the steering wheel is slightly off centre. So when we get back, we'll need to take the steering wheel back off, straighten it back up, probably 2 or 3 notches, and that'll be good to go. But other than that, it seems to be running fine. So I'm going to drive down the road a little bit more, just make sure there's nothing that, like I say, we didn't know from it sitting in the garage. Then we'll head back to the house, straighten out the steering wheel, and take it from there. Right, so the van's running pretty flawlessly, has to be said. So what we'll do now is we'll get it back to the garage, but I'll save you guys the trip, and I'll see you in the garage in just a sec. And we're back. Now you guys have seen me take off a steering wheel and airbag and all that stuff in a previous video, and I can't imagine you want to see it again. So with that, that's going to be the end of this week's episode, guys and girls. I hope you liked it. I do apologise that these videos are coming kind of sporadically over longer periods of time than I'm used to uploading, and there's no real excuse for it other than I'm just busy and I just don't have the time to make the content at the same speed as I used to. So in the next video what we'll do is we'll set about the outside, fixing all the damage, getting it ready for paint. And as always, I hope you're keeping well and I hope you're keeping safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.